Hello and welcome to this edition of Goa 365's Face to Face. With me is TTAG President Mr. Nilesh Shah. This interaction with Nilesh holds even more significance because the cabinet has just cleared the tourism policy and lots of things are supposed to be coming out which is more positive and to give a boost to our industry, which is today the main industry since mining is no longer there. So Nilesh, welcome to Goa 365 once again.
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks for inviting TTAG for
Now,
your prime program.
Yeah, Nilesh, now with under the shadow of the tourism policy, before we get into that, I would like you to speak a little bit about the status of the tourism industry in the state under the corona, because of the coronavirus. Nilesh.
Yes, Glenn, as you are aware, the industry was at lockdown mode for quite some time, and from August, government allowed to open in calibrated manner the hotel industry. Till now, around 900 plus hotels have applied for reopening, because under this COVID scenario, all hotels had to reapply for restarting, in sense that government departments checks for the SOPs which are there to be followed, and the guidelines which they give it to the hotels. So it becomes safe for the tourist.
Okay, let me just interrupt. How many hotels are there total?
That's why I'm coming.
Ballpark, yeah.
That total 3,870 official hotels registered with the tourism department under four categories, that is A, B, C, D. Most of the hotels are small hotels under D category. So out of the total pie of hotels, around 910 odd have applied, and government has told to go ahead around 820, because it is evolving. This is a statistic as of yesterday. So there will be many more which will add up in days to come. So 820 hotels have opened in Goa. Now for which hotels have opened, especially in the smaller category hotels, their business is very bad. Like if they have 50 room hotels, they have 4 rooms, 5 rooms, 10 rooms. And weekends it may go a little bit higher. But as far as star hotels are concerned, specifically 5-star hotels, they have occupancy on average. I was just talking to a few of the GMs of the hotel. They expect October they will close in with the 40 to 50% of the occupancy. So the star hotels are doing well, but they are doing well because they have slashed their rates to 40%, 50%. In some cases, the rates are prevailing maybe 5 years back. So they are giving very good value to the customer. So that is attracting to the tourist. And if you ask tourists per se, they feel more safer in the star hotels because they know they will follow the protocols.
Cleanliness.
So they are having occupancy, and it's very gradually growing up. As far as another trend which you can judge that it's gradual growing is in August we had a booking percentage of 4 to 5%. September it went from 12 to 15%, and in October it should be with the smaller hotels it will be less, but bigger hotels, star hotels, can go up to 40-50% also. It may at least 35 to 40% for sure. But smaller hotels is a challenge, because first they have to match with the pricing, the confidence building with the customer, and a lot of business travel is also not started, because the smaller hotels runs on that. Secondly, for smaller hotels to restart, they require a charter business to start into Goa, which is there is no sign of it. In fact, CM is also doing the follow-up with the Home Department, because Home Department has to go ahead. So once there is a clarity on that, then we'll see other category of hotels starting in the smaller hotels will start in Goa. And it is a matter of survival for everyone. So it is really tough going. But we are trying to have all positive mindset. Government on their front, they have opened all segment of tourism, except for swimming pools are not allowed as per the.
I think now swimming pools and they're starting off some guidelines had come that they want to start swimming pools and entertainment parks.
So now from today onwards they allow river cruise, which we are lobbying for quite some time. So river cruise is allowed. So hopefully when lockdown 6 from November onwards, swimming pools will be allowed in the hotel. Right now they are allowing the swimming pools, that is only specifically for the training purpose and for in the what you call in the government where the trainings are going on for swimmers and all those specific things they have allowed. But for tourists, not as much.
Yeah, specifically, I wanted to ask you about two things. One, see, Goa, there are a lot of domestic tourists coming in. I know they are using their own vehicles, but so that we'll discuss later. But foreign tourists coming from outside, because lot of Goans and lots of the charters, lot of the hotels are living on charters. They're coming, guest houses, and then second thing is casinos. These two things for tourism in Goa at different levels, of course, is important. So what do you feel that the delay in this is going to affect badly tourism?
Basically, as I spoke to earlier also, and the main thing is the starting of allowing the charter operations under bubble which we had requested from our source market, that is maybe specifically Russia. Then we are talking about UK, Poland, Ukraine. Now these are the places where we get maximum charters into India. So government and two front, first they have to say that they have to open their visa facilities for these tourists. It's e-visa specifically. So they have to open for the visa portal for them. Secondly, they have to say that they will allow the flights under travel bubble. Once they announce then only the operators, will start taking booking in the source market. So unless that announcement happens, bookings will not start. As of now, like last week, airport director has made a comment that 350 flights have applied for the slots into flights,
yes.
So which is a good sign.
Yes.
But that is of no use unless government gives go ahead, and it is specifically from Home Department which has to go ahead. We are trying our best from the all fronts. As I told, CM has also written. Cabinet Minister for Minorities was in Goa, so I met him personally, and I also given him a representation, and he has also assured that he will talk to the concerned people, because there are multi-department involved. There is a foreign affairs, foreign ministry involved, home ministry involved, and a civil aviation ministry involved.
Correct.
So looking into all those things, we are hopeful, and as early as if they announce the operations, it will help the industry to basically start planning, and because there is a lot of labor, small hotels, laborers, they have, they would start getting them back and start the planning for the industry, means for the opening up. So that has been delayed. So we are hopeful that unless that happens, the actually industry will not start. But
timeline approximate, you feel?
One more point I would like to clarify. It is even after India opening, it's fine. Our source market also should allow tourists to come.
Yes, absolutely.
There are restrictions there also. Like if you see right now, there is a second wave in Europe, which is one of our source markets. So there are a lot of restrictions come in there. Situation is very dynamic, and hopefully the cases are going down, and if that average continues for next 15 days, I think we'll have a more positivity around, and it will help government in taking the decision in allowing the flights into Goa. It may be charter or it may be normal flights. And this charter business is Goa specific. It's 92% of the charters, international charters, comes to Goa. So they can have a specific thing only for Goa, because Goa depends on tourism.
But not only charters. Not only charters, lot of people also, they come directly to Goa. They have these age-old contacts. Every year they come back. Those people keep on calling, saying, where are you? What's happening? So that also plays a big part for.
That I agree, Glenn. What happened? That is the scheduled flights which they come on, direct scheduled flights. Even right now, scheduled flights are not allowed into India. All are operating under bubble. So either people who are stuck on either side, those only people can travel into Goa. To India, sorry. So basically they have to open up that also, that scheduled flights they will allow, or on the bubble they will allow tourists to come in. So in fact, the government should now, when they say they have unlocked everything, I think then they should not delay, because a lot of jobs depends on the tourism industry in India. So almost tune of 4 to 5 crores people directly, indirectly are involved in the tourism. And besides domestic tourists, foreign tourists also plays a major role. Specifically to Goa, attracting the domestic tourists coming into Goa, which all are aware of it.
Yeah, now coming more specific, Goa specific, there's another which I had I asked you about this, about the casino issue. Now, casino issue, see, the extension has been given, but Panjim and surrounding areas, be it taxi drivers, a lot of them are getting affected by tourism. So, what is the state? Because I don't see many of the hotels in Panjim doing well at all. Panjim and surroundings, but this.
I agree, Glenn. Now, casinos, what is happening? As per our understanding, with the entertainment opening, with MHA guidelines, they are allowing opening up of, like how they allowed the swimming pool to open, they can allow even casinos to open into Goa. Now, when they allow casinos, there are a lot of issues, means the clarity is required from the government, in sense that there are the requirements that maximum you can have 200 people. Now, their staff itself is 350. So, with 350 staff, how they can, start? So, government has to, there's a lot of clarity. Secondly, with the 50% of the occupancy, now they are paying the, if you talk about the tourism all segment, I'm not trying to defend casinos or anything, but they are giving the maximum their fixed fees, which runs into few crores. So even that, this is already 6 months of the year are gone for the revenue. So said how we can pay the full license fee, because besides that they pay GST also. So basically, those clarities need to come out for the industry to start back. And as you are aware, almost 12,000 people from India, Bhuvans are there, outside are directly employed in the casino. Indirectly, there is just one statistic. One of the casinos prior to lockdown almost had 100 flats in and around Panjim, which have taken on rents. It was shocking to hear from.
Yes, we are aware of this, yes.
With all the Goans or people who have the flats, who have been rented, so they were getting the rental income. Besides, our small taxi drivers, taxi owners, even the shops, if you see near that Fontaine, those shops which are there in that on that road, they also sell right from sandwiches to everything for serving this casino staff and the people in and around. Now those small shops.
You forgotten about the guests. People who come, not all of them come and go. A lot of people who come to play in the casino, they also stay in around in these flats and.
So now the hotel industry in Panjim, be everything, unless casino start, Panjim hotels will not do well. Over the years, earlier Panjim was a base for tourists. Now it has been shifted to Kalangut, Baga, that side. So Panjim, the tourists started coming in when casinos started coming in. The Panjim hotels were started doing well. So even I get a call regularly from all small hotels in and around Panjim who are our members, asking when casino is going to start. Because unless casino starts, that business does not start. So there has to be some clarity which has to come in, which they have asked for. I think once that comes, I think that vertical of the industry also will start very soon.
Yeah, now another issue which I want to bring up is these lot of these taxi drivers and lots of these people, they depend on tourism. So what is their future? See, after this we will go into the tourism policy, a few specifics which we have heard, and I'm sure you also have heard. But what about these taxi drivers and all these, these people street side and all that? What is their future?
I agree. In fact, they are the most affected because they are most vulnerable among the people who are working in the tourism industry. Besides, of course, you have people working in the reception, backhand, all the affected big way. As far as the taxi drivers are concerned, earlier they were reluctant because they also have to worried about their families, because once they go out, they were also worried. But gradually, they also understood that survival is the key. So if you are going to be afraid and don't take the business, then rather than COVID killing you, our
poverty
stomach will kill. Poverty will go. Our stomach which will require food daily. So they have started taking business, and gradually it's coming up. So in fact, the government, we had suggested one scheme which I would like to highlight here. Basically for smaller end of the tourism people who are working in the industry and the people who depend, like taxi drivers or maybe vegetable vendors also depend on them. A person who was selling fish, all depend on tourism directly, indirectly. I will just give one statistic before I come to that point. Like in Panjim market, if you ask any vendor there, they say their business is 40%, 50%. Because major of the 50-60% business came because of tourism.
That means it shows, right? That it depends on
Absolutely.
tourism.
So it is a big downfall for the for all segments in the of the people in Goa. So what we have suggested, like Kashmir also, government also, governor there, they have announced, and even the Kerala has announced. They have given the interest subvention scheme. So what they have done is, suppose if I am eligible for loan, I get a loan from the bank for 1 year. Whatever is the interest, 50% or say 5% of the interest, 9% is the rate of interest. So 5% government will pay for 1 year to the bank
Okay.
directly. Valuation, everything is done by the bank. So the person who is taking loan, he just pays 4% for this thing. So this will help him survive, because that will not pinch him much. And everything is done by the bank. His eligibility, his security, everything. So even what we suggest, even they can give against gold also, or whichever way they want it. And the amount of outflow is not big if you actually calculate. Suppose if they underwrite 500 crores, 500 crores, 5% comes to how much? 25 crores. And 25 crores government don't have to pay now. They have to pay after
1 year.
almost a year, or as it passes. So, but the relief which can get it, and the main thing, that is a positivity which is created, because it's ultimately everything is in the mind. So once you see that, you are not going, you are being supported, automatically that your inner strength comes to fight back this thing. So looking into that, we have suggested, and we said you can use tourism budget for it, because tourism, we are not doing any marketing, we are not participating in an exhibition. So 25 crores can be given there. Similarly, what we requested was on the restaurant and bar, there is a fixed charges of 22 CR, which government gets it. So what we said, that 6 months everything was closed. Give that 11 crores relief to the industry, which on fixed charges to the industry, and which can be utilized from the tourism budget. I understand that money, when we are talking, does not lie in the tourism account in the government, but which was budgeted.
But so, it's a budgeted amount, so there should be no problem, right?
It is a matter of survival for everyone across. Yes. And right now also people who have started, when I'm talking about, say, 5-star hotels are giving you at 40%, 50%. Be assured that they are not making money. It is a matter of survival for them, because they have people working with them, they have their bank loans, and they have their other fixed expenses. So for everyone in the industry, tourism industry, it is a matter of survival. And we require government help if we have to, carry on for another 6 months before we get vaccine or, some remedy as such.
Okay. Okay, now Nilesh, let's move on a little bit to another side of this. Now we know this is basically the status, the various issues which have been discussed on and off and all that. Now the government has released this tourism policy. Now it's the government, means the cabinet has cleared it. So officially it's not come out, no much detail, but a few details have been carried. So can you give us a little bit of a small this about what you all have heard, what inputs are put for this policy?
First of all, we welcome this policy, that because it was in making for almost
long time,
more than 10 years.
Long time.
Yes. Our ex-CM Digambar Bab had started it. Yeah. Then our ex-CM Parrikar tried to, his vision was, on the tourism board, and a lot of inputs he took from the industry. Then they appointed KPMG towards drafting that policy, which is 25-year plan, how tourism will pan out 25 years. So ultimately it has a day of light by that where cabinet has accepted tourism. Now many things has to come out. But one of the things which we had proposed, which is not of our liking, but what we had proposed was that it has to be equal representation from the industry and the government. But what I understand is they have given, besides industry, they have given government appointees. There will be maybe 2 or 3 more government appointees. So that balance will be lost. Now, all this thing, when it comes to, suppose when tourism board is formed, it should not be like any other government body, which we already have GTDC, we already have Goa Tourism, and we also have something called SLMP, that is a state level marketing committee. Where the industry guys are there and the government bodies are there. So it should not be any other like body. What we are looking at, it like in the form of what we have abroad, like in Singapore Tourism Board, which is industrial driven. So whatever budget allocation comes, I'll give you the small example, statistic. Around, I think tourism budget is around 260 crores. of Goa, out of which 110 or 120 goes towards the admin expense and salaries and all those. So but the amount which is left is say around 120 crores or 130 crores odd for the actual spending. Out of which 35-40 they spend on the marketing, and balance they spend on the infrastructure. Now we require, say, once tourism board, that how that money is going to be spent. Like right now you see, I'm not criticizing anyone, but those monies are utilized for, suppose if I have to put high mass in village or in the area, even that money is utilized for that, which is job of maybe from electricity thing or PWD, because they get their funds from that. So why tourism budget has to be spent on that? The tourism budget has to be specifically spent for tourism. So once we have a say in that, then we can say you spend here, you spend there, and when the confidence is taken to
what you feel needs to be spent on?
See, basically it has to be spent on the proper infrastructure. We don't require, in fact, I mean commenting on, to spend on very high capital intensive unit. Like I was just one small, I'll give it to you. We have a garbage is a major issue. There is what we have to do is that we have to spend money on the coordination between municipality, panchayats and the garbage collector, because they outsource it, and the plant which is recycling. You see, there is no
at all. Yes, it's a mess. So total mess.
That. Secondly, all beach there has to be responsibility of cleaning. How they have the responsibility of saving the people, which is a good thing, which is given lot of confidence to the guests when they're going. Similarly, cleanliness has to be maintained. Then what we require is a basic infrastructure on the on all our tourist spots, specifically on the beach, or it may be near the church or near the temple, of clean toilets and clean changing room, which is lacking big time. So if we have those basics right, tourists will automatically will come back. And third, which I emphasize on the roads which we have banned. Of course, it comes under PWD. I don't want the tourism budget to be spent on the roads, but then that is has to be looked into it, because those are the, if we do these 3-4 basic things right, the rest be assured Goa sells on its own, because of the people what we have, and the beauty with the God's grace, the natural beauty what we have. So what we have to understand is that let's do our basics right. Tourists will start coming back to Goa. So that is what we can wherever we require to. Second, the main thing is like on the beach you see these shacks are there in and around hotels which are there. Even the colonies which are there in interiors of Goa, there is no sewerage line. So now they say you have to have SPC plant and all those, fine. But there has to be workable solution. So right now, if you have to spend on major infrastructure, if you ask me, it has to be from north to south, have a good sewerage system. Which
one point also, wait, I want to add in a little bit here. In fact, we've had discussions with this with the former CM and all, and now it's supposed to be coming up. See, lot of tourists come to Goa. Like for example, now there are tourists, you go to the beaches on North East, they are packed. They come in their own vehicles, they come with their own food, they bring their own cook, they bring their own wall, and plus they put cheap diesel and they go back. Now, how are these type of tourists going to help us? See, now the government has been saying we are going to make parks, we are going to charge them. They do nothing. Now, in fact, in Miramar and all, they are just on the footpaths, on the beaches somewhere. You go to Kalang, they are on. Now, this type of tourism is of no use, no? These are just the numbers that the tourism minister is just throwing out. So many tourists came. Arey, what is the point? You are not going to make money. Nobody is going to make money on this.
I agree with you. Now, what happens is now we can't stop this type of people coming into Goa. But
don't allow them to cook on the road.
I guess so. We can regulate. So what we had suggested, or what was planning, that you should have a parking lot facilities. It may not be in the city. It may not be in the. It can be exteriors. And this compulsory, the cooking, whoever wants to can go there, park. Which is to be chargeable. So people know there is a camping facility, like you have camping facilities throughout the world. So you create a camping area and shift those type of.
But this talk has been going on for such a long time. This toilet talk.
Policing.
Yeah.
So it is happening quite some time. Now, what is the rental?
Yeah, Nilesh, now you're talking about changing rooms, garbage, no cooking on the road. Nilesh, this I've been hearing for past 6-7 years. Are you confident that this is going to happen now? So many years. Every CM comes, every government comes, he changes the beach tender, the media files some reports, the TTAG puts. Is it going to change, you feel, anyhow?
I think we have to remain positive, and we have to, as a
Absolutely, we have to remain positive.
Because as you have said, because unless that thing happens, I think we are asking for trouble. Because then the tourism, already we are seeing the decline in the foreign tourists coming into Goa.
Because of this,
even the domestic tourists also, now everybody has a different options. And right now the value which is offering by even our neighboring countries is far very attractive. So they will start shifting. So to looking into all those aspects, we have to get it done. And it is not rocket science, Glenn. You also aware well. It is
absolutely
a matter of will that which has to be done. Now tourism, on to policing. Basically they have tourism police. Now they don't have any powers. So what I'm saying is, if we have a force, forget about tourism police. Use this police to only give them some power, and which has to be accountable. Just giving power itself, you know how it is corrupting. It is the accountability with the power. You give it to them and see that certain things are enforced, which are there. Basically,
yeah,
people
Nilesh,
going on the bottle on the beach, it is banned. So it is
to
to be not.
enforce
It is to be.
So basically, implementation. Implementation is the issue.
It has to be stopped at the entry level only. It has to be stopped at the entry level only. That you cannot go without this thing. So
okay,
there are
Nilesh, this implementation, I think we'll need another program, because we are completely out of time. Thanks a lot, Nilesh. Thank you very much.